you for joining me again for the After Shift Report. Today, I want to start with asking you a question, and that is, what do you do in your off time? For me, when I was working in the hospital setting or even any of my nursing jobs, there were many days or nights that I finished work and I still had things to do. Maybe not as much with the hospital, but in some of the other positions that I had, I could be up in the middle of the night writing reports and could be on call till after midnight. And just because I was the admin on call, could be woke up anytime during the night. So I thrived on that. I loved being busy, loved being needed, and but what happened as a result is I neglected me. And if you're somebody who feels like you've got a pretty good balance and you do things with your family and friends and you're doing things that you enjoy doing, that's amazing. That is great. And I would encourage you that if you have that ability or you feel like you've found that balance, please encourage somebody else to get to that point because it is such a needed solution to people's lives right now. And so, but if you are somebody who feels like you've got that balance, what I want to ask you is when you do get together with friends and family, are you really present? Or is there a part of you that, like I talked about last week, has a little indifference to the situation? Or you come home, you feel kind of flat, and while it was nice getting out with people, somehow you're still just kind of void of a lot of emotion. And that's just part of the burnout phase, and it does take time to get to the healing, get through the healing for burnout. But one of the things that I want to mention here is what's missing in the midst of this burnout. You're giving so much of yourself to your work and to everybody else. And what's the missing piece in this equation? It's you, right? So, a great place to start is to try to find a goal. And depending on where you are in your burnout, you might be thinking, oh my gosh, I cannot take on figuring out something else or doing one more thing. And I understand that. So when I say making a goal, a dream, a vision for yourself, you just start with where you are. If it may be that your goal is going to be as simple as I'm going to drink 8 glasses of water today. And that's okay. That's great. Start with where you are. But if you're a little bit further down the line and you're healing or to prevent you from getting into burnout, it's very important that you're honoring yourself. And I don't know about for you, but for me, I felt like I kind of lost some of my dreams and visions. And in fact, it's kind of funny. When my husband and I first met, he had mentioned that what attracted him to me was that I always was on the go and I was going places and blah blah blah. And I brought that up to him not too long ago. I said, "Do you remember when you said that?" Actually, this was several years ago. I brought this up to him and I said, "Do you remember what it was you said you liked about me?" He's like, "Oh yeah, I mean, you were just on fire. You had your head on straight. You were going places and la la la." And I'm like, "Oh no, stop, go back. Where was I going? What was I doing?" And he's like, "Oh, I don't know. It wasn't like you had something in particular that you were doing, but you had this energy about you that you were gonna be doing things." And so, at the time when I was young, I did have lots of dreams and goals, things I wanted to learn and things I wanted to do. But as I got into my adult life, raising children, career, um, some of those dreams have left me, and I struggled to find what some of those were. So if that's an area maybe you're kind of struggling with as well, there's inspiration everywhere. If you can think back to when you were a child, do you remember saying anything that you wanted to learn, anything that you wanted to do? Ask your family. If your parents are still living or you have siblings or aunts and uncles that you were close with, ask them what they remember about you as a child. And it may just spawn, thinking for you as far as things you may want to take on. I mean, there's so many things. I mean, you could learn a new language. You could go back to school and learn something just for fun. You could take on, crafts or I think I said speaking another language, but there's just so many options. Learn a new sport, do something that you've always wanted to do, travel, write a book. That's one on my bucket list is I just somewhere I feel like there's a book in me. I don't know what it's going to be about, but when it's time, it'll be revealed to me. So, there's just so many things that you can do. And so start looking for inspiration. When you're watching TV, what are the characters doing? What's the set look like? Is design something you're interested in? Is costumes? Is sewing, new fashion, accessorizing? Whatever the case may be. But inspiration is everywhere. Looking in magazines and you see things, you read things. What piques your curiosity, and get curious about yourself. So let's say you've come up with a goal. You want to whatever learn a new language. So what keeps you from doing it? And this is where it's going to really require you to watch yourself like a hawk. Observe your thoughts, and you have to be very intentional with this. What are you thinking? Is your thought negative? And sometimes when we are always coming up with excuses, it seems perfectly normal, and they're perfectly rational excuses. But let that be an opportunity when you start seeing it is how can you look differently at the situation. So um, some of the things that people use as excuses or resist them from doing what they want to do is they think I don't have the time for it, or it's too much of an expense. I'm just at an age I can't learn new things anymore. Maybe you feel like if you learn this new thing or you did this thing that family members or friends might think, well, who is she trying to be? Who is she just showing off to? So there's all kinds of things that we pop into our head and keep us in resistance to doing what we say we want to do. So watch yourself, watch your life, watch your actions, and see where you may be in resistance to. And I'll continue this line of talk over the next couple of weeks and see if we can't grow a little bit more in the process. But for now, watch yourself, come up with a list, just brain dump all the things that would be fun for you to learn or do. Um, and so then and then try to notice what keeps you from doing that. Okay, and we'll come back next week and talk more about this. So I hope this again increases awareness for everyone and helps you find more the balance in your own life when you're honoring yourself. That's it for now. Have a great week, everybody. Bye for now.